Welcome to Move from Center, an opportunity for connection, conversation, and shared wisdom around living, leading, and moving forward by aligning to your center. I'm your host, Dawn Strom, aligned embodiment coach and business mentor for leaders and entrepreneurs who want to create a meaningful impact and holistic success on their own terms. When I started my wellness business back in 2005, I wanted to create a business that allowed me a life that I loved and inspired a movement of healing in the lives of my clients. Years later, I'm still inspired by the power of embodiment to align us to our deep wisdom, empower our purpose, and support aligned action towards creating a meaningful impact in life and business. Tune in monthly for solo episodes and guest interviews around topics from embodiment to business strategy to support you to live, lead, and create your movement by aligning to your center. Welcome to the first episode of the Move from Center podcast. I designed this podcast for the new paradigm of holistic healers, creatives, and thought leaders who are redefining what it means to live and lead and create a transformational business by moving from their center. I'm your host, Dawn Strom, and this podcast is growing out of 2 decades of my experience, expertise, and research in embodiment, somatics, energy medicine, human movement, and psychology, creative process, philosophy, and also just creating many iterations of my own holistic and transformational business over the last 20 years. When I started my business back in 2005, I had just come through a really deep experience of loss, losing my mother to cancer in 2000 and realizing just the effects of that loss on my life and also the effects of other experiences I'd had in childhood with trauma and the effects that they'd had on my body, on my mind, on my spirit, and really my sense of connection and trust in the world. And so I really came sort of out of that experience around 2002, 2003, and I was searching for a way to heal and reclaim my own center. I knew I needed to move forward, and I knew to move forward, I needed to come home to my body and come home to myself. And this was really a catalyst for me in my own personal work and research in somatics, philosophy, dance, and embodiment. It helped me create a path forward that came from within me and that came from really reclaiming myself, reclaiming my own intuition, and reclaiming my ability to really turn over the soil and to know that I can transform my own experience. And it led to me wanting to share everything I learned with other people. So I ended up starting my own practice in 2005, and I started my business for 2 simple reasons. And one really came out of losing my mom, and that was my deep desire to truly live my time on this earth the way I wanted to live it. I had a very deep sense that, you never know how much time you have, and I really wanted to intentionally be able to spend my time in a way that was meaningful to me and not doing what I was supposed to do or what a boss said I needed to do or whatever, but I wanted to spend it in a way that was meaningful. And I knew that what was meaningful was spending time with the people I loved and pursuing my own creative passions and purpose, what I felt like was uniquely mine to give to the planet and to be in this lifetime. And so then the second reason was to really share that with other people. And so I started my business with that intention to be able to really live a life on my own terms and also to really share my own wisdom, expertise, and experience and live my purpose by creating a business. And I started out with a movement therapy practice, gyrotonic practice in 2005, and it's grown from there into holistic coaching and transformational business coaching. It's taken many iterations over the years. And essentially, though, there's been this center thread for me, and that's what this podcast really grows out of. So it's been that central thread of spending these last 2 decades helping professionals and entrepreneurs to really reclaim their center. And you may be wondering what this means, reclaiming your center. And I'm sure that if you're listening to this podcast, that you've probably had the experience of being off center. And so for me, being off your center, it's manifested on a lot of levels for myself and my clients. And one of them is on that physical level, right? So that sense of being out of physical alignment, whether it's standing and tipping until you fall, or, a deeper sense of being out of alignment in their bodies, out of alignment in how they move their bodies. So on that physical level, feeling like something's not quite right. You feel out of alignment physically in your bodies, how you're moving your body, how you feel at ease in your body. And then on a mental, emotional level, feeling out of alignment may feel like chronic stress, overwhelm, feeling dysregulated in your nervous system, feeling like you're really just looking to try to come back to your center, feel more peace, clarity, self-trust. On a spiritual level, feeling out of alignment can feel like you've lost your sense of purpose, or like you've hit a plateau and it's time for something new, but you don't know what that is. It can feel kind of like a sort of unrest of sorts, and there's certainly many more levels of experience, lived experience, than just these four. But the last one that I like to refer to is a bigger net, and I call it kind of the communal experience. And that's your sense of relationship to your environment, to others, to your community, how you give back through your work. So feeling out of alignment in this area, I've seen manifest a lot with my clients and myself as overgiving, overworking, feeling resentment in your relationships with others, how you're giving, maybe not making the meaningful impact that you desire, continuing to search for more meaning, more impact, instead of just feeling like you're giving enough, or feeling like really a deep sense of worth in what you are and who you are and what you're able to give. So on the flip side, realigning and moving from your center has looked like this for me and my clients. Physically, feeling aligned in your body, moving with strength and ease and presence, trusting your body wisdom and intuition to know how to give your body what it needs, how to feel good in your physical body and feel at home in your physical body. On a mental, emotional level, feeling a sense of self-trust, feeling connected to your truth and your intuition, having perspective on your life that you can really lean into, trusting yourself to have perspective, to create meaning, to have a mindset, kind of a way of looking at things that really aligns with your core beliefs, that feels intentional. And also just knowing how to regulate your own nervous system and your emotions to stay in balance, to be able to cultivate states that help you to have clarity, make aligned decisions, feel connected to yourself and other people. And then feeling centered on a spiritual level, feeling clear about your deep purpose, what motivates you beyond the day-to-day, that you're part of something bigger than yourself, having that clear, kinesthetic, lived experience sense of that deeper connection and purpose. And also having a sense of infinite in your experience too. For me, that's showed up for my clients and myself as really part of being on center, moving from your center on a spiritual level. And this is just a small, obviously there's more to this with any one of these pieces, but this is some of the collection of what I've seen over the years, and then in terms of giving back and that communal sense of being, moving from center within community, for me, this has really shown up as having that clear path to give back, to be part of your community, to have meaningful work that makes a living, that can help you to create what you want to create in terms of financial wealth, being able to make an impact that is anchored in your purpose, and also that feels aligned for you in the other holistically with the rest of your life, right? So that you have a clear sense that you're on center, you're moving from your center with how you relate to others and your work. You're not overgiving, you're not over-delivering, you're not overextending your energy and burning out, right? So moving from center on all these levels has that real sense of strength and alignment and clarity and purpose to it. And sometimes moving from center is about returning to center. Sometimes it's about, like I said, evolving, having hit a plateau. You're actually evolving, you're riding change, and you're finding a new center. But for me, finding and moving from your center is always about being present, working on deepening your presence, connecting to your intuition, your truth, your purpose, and creating a path and a positive ripple in the world that's authentic for you and that is your unique expression. And here's what I've seen happen when you align and move from your center over the years. I've seen kind of 3 core things start to happen for everybody, for me, for my clients. And one is you grow your self-trust. Self-trust grows and becomes a foundation. You learn to deeply trust yourself, the bigger energy that we're all part of. And you learn to move from what's authentic and true for you, make decisions in alignment with that really leads you through your own healing and also to create your most fulfilling and meaningful expression of how you want to live your life. Secondly, you learn to truly lean into community and to trust others. Trust others to be in their own path, to find their own way, to allow that synergy of other people who are aligned with you and your own path to really rise up so that you can co-create together a bigger movement that you're all part of and that will support all of you. So this idea of leaning into community and being part of a bigger movement, co-creating a bigger movement of how we want to live, be, and grow together is part of that. And then when those two things happen, when you have the self-trust and you have this sense of being able to lean in and allow yourself to have the trust with others and community, the bigger movement that you're part of in your path starts to also rise up, and you can create what is uniquely yours, that path that's uniquely yours, the truth that's uniquely yours to share. Find that way to give back through your business that can truly create a ripple and make the impact that you'd love to make. And it doesn't have to be just giving back through your business. It can be giving back through relationships, through your work, whatever it is. Whatever your path of giving back, of sharing, of being in community, whatever that is for you. So foundationally, I believe that we all have this unique truth to share, and moving from our center, learning how to define, align, and redefine our center and what it means to move in alignment with our deepest truth is foundational to really creating and expressing our true selves, creating that ripple that only we can make. And so this podcast is dedicated to exploring this idea, this concept, this truth, this lived experience of moving from your center in life, in leadership, in creating transformational business. I'm going to have solo and guest episodes designed to engage conversation around these topics, share insights, tips, strategies, embodied strategies to support you to realign and redefine what it means to be embodied and to live and lead from your center and create that transformational business that can channel your purpose and inspire a movement. I am so excited to share this podcast with you and see how it evolves. So let's get started. Thanks for listening to the Move from Center podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to share it with others, please post about it on social media and tag me, or take a moment to leave a rating and review. And to get connected and all the latest from the podcast in your inbox, join the Momentum list to get my tips, tools, and resources for living and leading from your center to create holistic success and a meaningful impact on your own terms.